this is Joelle Pitts. I am an instructional design librarian who also teaches information literacy classes for Hale Library here at K-State. For my paper, instead of an interview, I decided to write a research paper examining the existing curricular practices in academic libraries, mapping those to the educational philosophies that we studied in this course, and discussing the impacts of library curriculum on our campus stakeholders and citizens in general. So I'm going to walk you through my paper here and hopefully give you a brief but clear idea of what I found. So unlike the school media specialists that you have probably worked with in your districts, academic librarians for the most part are not trained teachers, and we do not study educational theory in library school. A lot of us come from humanities backgrounds, so we do have experience teaching college students, but not a lot of experience developing curricula or philosophies of education. The way that most library instruction happens in higher ed also sort of prevents most of us from going into a lot of depth in what we cover. Typically, we are asked to guest lecture, so we attempt to cram the skills of our entire profession into a single 50-minute class session. But we do actually have standards. We have a curriculum outlined by the Association of College and Research Libraries, but actually implementing that curriculum is pretty difficult for most of us. I examined a lot of library literature about the need for library curricula and the need to embed literacy skills and education into college curricula. There are several existing standards and models that we use, probably the most basic theme being the idea that we teach students lifelong skills. We want them to be able to find and evaluate information long after they graduate. There are, of course, the ACRL standards. These have essentially been the common core for academic library standards. There is also interdisciplinary research, which is not necessarily a curriculum or a model, it's more of a trend. This is teaching research skills to students studying things like sustainability or gender, which have a lot of different research threads and tactics. We've also seen more inquiry-based learning going on, focused on learning communities, and we also have a model called critical literacy, which basically focuses on the idea that literacy-based education pushes students towards self-reflection and ultimately to transformative action. And finally, we have meta-literacy, which entails using technology to help students learn how to be literate in a variety of areas. So they're essentially learning how to learn. And so what I did is take these major themes from the library literature and mapped them to the work of the educational theorists that we studied this summer, so that librarians and other educators could easily see the correlations between library instruction and curriculum, the ideal and educational philosophy. And what I found is that they are really not that different. As you can see, every single category is mappable to at least one of the educational theorists that we studied. Dewey showed up actually in each and every category, and when I really thought about it, I concluded that at the heart of what we do as instruction librarians is really promoting the ideals of Dewey and his contemporaries, which I think is really important for library and university staff to understand. I concluded my paper with a discussion on why librarians should take the time to go beyond how we teach these skills to really understand why we teach them and for what purpose, which I think allows us to do several things. Number one, it helps us to make our case to potential faculty and university collaborators that it's vital that they embed literacy into the college curriculum. It also helps us to collaborate with individual instructors about what should be covered, not crammed, into our class sessions. It helps librarians, I think, to better understand their roles in the lives of our students and in our community. And it helps students really gain those lifelong skills that they're going to need to navigate the exponentially increasing amount of information that they're going to encounter in this age of Google. And all of this put together really cements, for me, the library's relevancy in higher ed in the coming decades. So that's the gist of my paper. If you have any questions or want to chat more after this class ends, you can find my contact information on the library website. Thanks for a great class.